Like in the last 4.5 years, I went from managing my own life and two very small little rescue dogs, very cute. And now I have 4 kids in the home. I've become a mum.
We can figure it out pretty well. Like, we have a lot of capability, but before we even go into solution mode, we need someone to see us and hear us.
Some of the burden that I come up with when I share with Bri if I have burnout is I want another one. So I have built this story around I can't be tired.
When you say, I just need you to listen right now, that is an easy way to let someone know how they can show up for you best.
I've always been a good communicator. I just needed to understand.
Oldish. The art of knowing more and caring less. With your host, Randy Spelling, Brian Austin Green, and Sharna Burgess.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Oldish. You got Randy and I here today. We are pretty excited to have a fun episode with you. We're honestly just going to hang out with each other, chat about some life stuff. We are heading into summer at the moment. And for any of you guys with kids, are you feeling as chaotic as we are? Because it just seems like it's crazy right now with all the things that are being wrapped up and finished. Randy and I were just talking about this before we press record, and we thought, you know what? Why not share it with everyone? How chaotic is it for you right now, Randy, with your 2 girls? School is wrapping up. You're about to head into summer. What's happening in your world?
So I think by the time this airs, we will be in summer.
Probably, yes.
It'll be fun to actually do some foreshadowing to see if once we're there,
Totally,
how
yeah.
it turns out. But it's a marathon. It really feels like it's the culmination of the whole year, and there's this summer excitement, but also just the wrapping up of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I've had moments where I feel like I'm just keeping up. I mean, really on the weekend, I said, this isn't abnormal, but I said the last couple weekends, I said out loud, I have not sat down. It was a 12, 13 hour period. I finally sat down and I went, oh, it's so ridiculous.
I relate to that so much. But you know what? You do it so well because we have the same thing going on. 3 kiddos in school, all the plays, all the assignments, all the work that's got to be in. The amount, I'm on 3 different group chats for 3 different kids. Like, it's crazy. And I barely keep up with it. But you keep up with all of that, and you keep up with our Oldish group chats and all the things that we need to do. You're like so on top of it, dude. And it's really impressive because there are transparently times of the day where I'll finally look at my phone for me and not just looking for the kids stuff that I need. And I'm like, there's an entire like 1-minute scroll of texts from Oldish and our team that I need to get to. And I'm like, I haven't. And then I'm playing catch up, and it's just, I don't know how you do it. Superhero, man. It's really
and run a
really
business.
Impressive. And run a business. Oh my God.
But I think that's why, because I work with clients in such a way where I write them. Like they have my cell phone, so we're writing back and forth. So I've been a bit trained to do that. But I'll tell you, it's not like it doesn't have a cost, because I was also telling you there's no off switch sometimes. And it feels like lately with everything that's going on, and then there's just a lot going on. I'm like, I just need to turn off. And yes, I will meditate at times. Yes, I will work out. But that's not the same as that inner revving feeling. Like I have to respond because there's always something to respond to. And I think that even in the last few days has been one of the things that I've observed the most, just watching myself flying here, right on the plane. I was on my phone for 2.5 hours, whether I'm researching for guests, whether I'm writing people back. The response syndrome is real.
Response syndrome. How interesting. I feel that.
A chronic response syndrome.
Wow. I think I have the opposite of that.
What's yours?
No, it's not. I do until I burn out. And then when I get overwhelmed or stressed, my tendency is to if I can't see it, it's not there, I think, or like ignore it. Like I can easily, like when I get stressed, I want to sleep. I could fall asleep instantly when I get super stressed. My body just wants to go into shutdown mode.
Can you stay asleep?
I honestly don't give into it. So no, I don't think I can. And it's not, and the kicker is that when I go to bed at night and I'm stressed, I actually can't sleep. It's during the day when I have moments of stress, I will literally feel my eyelids get heavy. And it's like my body goes, no, I need to tap out of this. And so I have a response syndrome. I'll go through waves of at everyone's attention and answering all the things and doing all the things. And it's always for everybody else, right? And then I get to a point where I'm completely burnt out and dysregulated and I need to respond to no things. I need to, if any of our listeners remember, couple seasons back, I need to go to a dark room and do a puzzle where no one speaks. We're not a fully dark room, but to a room that's quiet where nobody speaks to me and I'm doing a puzzle just on my own. Like that's my downtime. So I can focus on something simple and mundane and I need no sound.
I remember I reached out to you. This was back over a year ago and you weren't around for a day or two. And then when you finally reached back out, I was like, are you, in the midst of a fantasy novel or something? And you're like, oh no, I went deep on a puzzle and I really had to go deep. It's like, oh.
Yeah, okay. I needed my time.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing. But I totally understand this response syndrome thing. And I used to have it in life when it was just my job, my career, and always responding to those things. And of course, younger, I didn't have all the responsibilities. But I think I'm still, and I don't think I felt the burnout as much then. I think I'm still learning how to balance it all with kids. There's so much more responsibility on me now.
Yeah.
And it did happen very quickly too. Like in the last 4.5 years, I went from managing my own life and two very small little, albeit yappy, but rescue dogs, very cute. Like we had our life and our patterns and our things. And now I have, 4 kids in the home. I've become a mum. I'm dealing with schools and trying to manage my own career, transition, relationship. Like I think I struggle at balancing all the things still.
Yeah. I mean,
I struggle at balance a lot.
So what do you do? I mean, not that you have a perfect answer, but when you feel that things are really out of balance, what is your first clue? Like, how does it show up?
Disengaging a little bit.
You can feel yourself.
I can feel myself disengaging because it's self-preservation. Like I'll get emotional a lot because I will have less of my barriers and my walls up to help me with that empath quality of mine that I end up soaking up everyone else's stuff. I have less of my protection mechanisms in place. You know what I mean? And so I end up being a bit more of a raw nerve. I end up being a bit more emotional and reactive. And so then I head to withdrawing for self-preservation. And I need space and time on my own, but I don't like getting to that point. That's not right either. That's actually the wrong way to do it. And I haven't really figured out the right way. I would say in the last probably only 6 months or less, I've gotten better at knowing what is mine to do and what isn't mine to do, because I'm so a person that likes to do things for people. And I don't just mean people pleaser in general. I mean for the people I love and for my kids and my family. Sometimes I bite off more than I should chew, and knowing that there are other people that can share these things with me and it doesn't just have to be me. I'm very much a person that's like, if you want it done, do it yourself type of thing. But knowing that I don't have to be that, because I can only have enough steam for so long when I'm functioning that way. And so I've gotten much better at even communicating with Brian, honestly, like, hey, I'm near a burnout and I need help. And I need this or I need that. Just communicating very specifically. I don't want to say specifically because it's not for public consumption, right? There's so many details in family I don't want to share. But being better at communicating how I'm feeling and where I'm at with my levels and saying what I need has been really, really helpful for me. I think in the way of like honoring myself, but also transparency with Brian. Like there's no question for him now of like, hey, are you okay? I'm just there sharing with him where I'm at, so he doesn't have to worry about if things are good or if they aren't. I'm just communicating with him what I'm able to do. It was Mel Robbins that said something, this is years ago, I listened to this, that her and her husband would come in and they'd be like, hey, listen, I'm at a 20. This is all I got left. Can you pick up the slack? And then he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm at a 60. So yeah, I got you. Let me come in and take care of it. Or if you come in, you're like, we're both on 0. Okay, let's muscle through it together and figure out how we can get each other some time and space. But being open with your partner about like, how much gas do you have left in the tank?
Right.
Because if you're not open and sharing that, then the other person is just going to they're going to feel it, whether you share it or not. And they're going to fill the gap with their own story about what's going on. And that creates its own havoc. And so I've found it really helpful to share with Brian, hey, I'm at a 20 or I'm nearing burnout. He's like, cool, I got you.
Yeah. So how do you do that? I mean, for someone who that's not practiced, it sounds like it wasn't practiced for you. No. Until maybe 6 months ago, you've gotten a little bit better
at it.
So if someone's like, okay, in my relationship, I'm feeling this, the kids, work, I'm burnt out or I'm overwhelmed or I just need some help. How would you, let's say, like what would be an example of recognizing it and then saying it?
The recognizing it is just, I feel it in my body. Like I know when I'm nearing that point, if my patience is thinner or I'm feeling more sensitive or, those things that I mentioned before about being reactive and knowing that I don't want to get to a place of withdrawal because that's not fair on my kids. Kids are going to fill that with their own story of why am I not as present for them? And then they'll just fill it with feelings, right? And so I don't want that either. So how do I approach it? I just say it to him. I've always been a good communicator. I just needed to understand. And Brian and I have always been good communicators with each other. He's a better listener than he is a sharer, for sure. And so I think because I've had the intention of wanting him to share more, I share more. And so because
you want to model it.
I want to model it. And so I model these conversations in a way that I would be okay with hearing it. Like, hey, he'll come to me or, hey, baby, can I share something with you? Have you got some time? Yes, absolutely. I'm really exhausted right now. I'm feeling super sensitive. I can feel myself starting to get a little bit reactive. I just need a little bit of help in this. Something that's been super helpful at the moment that Bri was doing when school was in is I was feeling really chaotic in the mornings between the school rush and then Zane was there with me and everything that was going on. And then I couldn't get work done that I needed to because it was just, I would lose half the day. And then before you know it, the kids are home from school. And it was like, oh, and then I'd lose my steam at some point later in the day. And he was like, okay, well, how about I take Zane in the car with me to drop the kids off? He'll love it. And then he gets to go and play on the playground with all the pre-K kids and whatnot. And it actually ended up being the better solution. So he was taking Zane in the car. Everybody loved that. The kids loved showing off their little brother to everyone at school. And I suddenly got round trip from him about he would always stretch it to 2.5 hours sometimes, where I got so much done.
Yeah.
I would film all the things I needed to, answer all the emails, do the work on acting class or whatever it was I needed to do. I was so productive in that time because I was able to communicate it with Brian what I needed, and he was able to facilitate. And then I know when he gets home, my turn. I jump in, he's got stuff to do. And so it only came because I shared with him how I was actually feeling, and I didn't have a solution. We got to that solution together because he was open to listen to me about how I was feeling. But it is a hard thing. Like you don't want to, some of the burden that I come up with when I share with Bri if I have burnout is, we have 4 kids in the home and I want another one. So I have built this story around I can't be tired. I can't be tired. I can't say it's too much because then if I want another one, then how am I going to handle another one? Brian's never said anything about that to make me feel that way. He's in full support. But I've told myself this story of I can't burn out, and if I want another one, then I have to be able to do this, which is so silly. And it ended up making me burn out anyway. Better communication with him created a better back and forth of us jumping in on responsibility. And I know that I was the one that created the tone and the structure because because you do, right? I came in and I wanted to do so much and I jump in and I do all the things. I can't be mad at him for being like, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So until I communicated with him, hey, I'm feeling burnout, I need X, Y, Z. And he's like, cool, I got you. Oh my God, the difference that it made was unbelievable. As simple as giving me two and a half hours in the morning to get my stuff done. And then I'm more than happy and grateful and excited to jump in with Zane at the end of that and give him his time to do his things.
Which is a really good reminder that if you have time for you, you will more than likely gladly be more giving of your time.
Yes.
You will be more patient. I see this all across the board with people. I see it with myself. If I don't have any, and I'll just say this, I'm someone, again, I'm practiced at this, so maybe I'm just trained at doing this, for better or worse. I'm a producer. I produce, whether it's content or whether it's, doing stuff around the house or whatever. It's like constant producing. But there's a part of me that feels good when I'm productive, when I feel that there's purpose behind it. I'm like, I used my time wisely. I feel good about it. If I don't, like there have been some work days where if I have all of these things to do and then I get sidetracked or have to pick someone up from school or, everything goes south, I can manage a little bit of that. But when it's like a couple days in a row and it all still has to be done and I haven't been able to produce and be productive, I start to get into that impatient, sort of upset because I haven't had that time that I really need. So I'm glad you're saying this, and I'm glad that you modeled that for people to hear not only what it sounds like, but the outcome. I know not everyone, I can hear people going, well, my partner wouldn't just say, I got you.
Yes.
But one of the first steps to getting there is to be able to talk about that and to say your needs or what's even going on for you out loud, because for sure your partner, if they're not doing it now, they're not just going to magically come in and go, I got you. I see you. You haven't said anything, but I know exactly what's going on. Let me take the burden from you.
Yeah.
You have to say something. That's the first step, right?
Have to say something. And not just with, we do this so much. I think women do this probably, more than men, but not just saying it with your energy and emotions and actions, but say it with words. Like,
say more. What do you mean?
We can silent treatment, cold shoulder.
Oh yeah.
Suddenly do less for you. Like whatever it is, people have their own ways, and maybe men do it as much. I just notice it when I chat with my girlfriends and we laugh about it. Like when we've had those moments of, I just didn't speak to him for 2 days, which I've never done, by the way, but I have friends that have. You have to say it with words. We cannot expect our partner to be in our head and know what's going on. You have to communicate it. And as scary as that is, it's only super scary on the first time. You have to just cross that line and try it. And then it gets easier and easier after that. But opening up your feelings, again, the story I told myself about having another kid and why I was scared to share that I was close to burnout,
Yeah.
You have to, I think, let go of the stories you're telling yourself about all the negative things that could come from you sharing how you're feeling, and lean into the fact that you need to share how you're feeling. It's never going to get better unless you do. So you can fantasize all day or catastrophize all day about how bad it could go, or you could just jump in and try and see how good it could get.
You say that again. That was like a T-shirt moment.
I don't know how to say it again, Randy. I say things and they just come out of me. Yeah, they come out of me and then they are in the ether and I don't know how to repeat myself.
I think the title of the episode should be Say It With Words.
Say it with words.
Say it with words.
Please, right?
But yeah, you're so right about something, because how often do we end up having conversations in our head about not only how it's going to go, but well, they're not doing this and blah, blah, blah. And then you start to have that whole thing, and then it just makes it worse and worse, and that divide gets bigger and bigger. And I think this can happen across the board with men, women, men, women. But I do see this more where a man wants to come through.
Absolutely.
Right? Like wants to be productive. Like you have something to fix. Okay, might groan and grumble, but like if, you go out and fix the thing and it's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You feel a little good.
It
You're
feels
like,
good to
you know
provide.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of hardwired and built in, but we need instructions. Like we just need instructions sometimes.
Yeah.
So giving instruction because, we don't have an into the inner thoughts of the head. I mean, if we were all walking around like Wonder Years where we could hear our thoughts, we're not there yet.
We're not there. Do we want to be? I don't want to know everyone's thoughts.
I do not want to know everyone's thoughts.
No, thank you very much.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad that you shared that and that you could model it a little bit. That's why I asked, like, could you share how? Because it seems like with communication, you can talk about communication and people go, yeah. But unless you hear it, you actually give someone a little framework. Like, what does it sound like? They could use their own voice or put it in their own terms, but sometimes you just need a jumping off point to start the conversation.
I think in exactly what you're saying, something that was helpful that I shifted that I never used to be good at is before I got to the just say it with words without being asked, right? I would get, and not intentionally because I was trying to be noticed, but I think trying to be noticed, I would just feel things and they would get bigger and bigger and I'd catastrophize and then my energy is filling the room and not in a good way, right?
So how does it fill the room? Sorry I interrupted you, but
You're fine.
I'm just curious. How does it fill the room not in a good way? Like what is when you're starting to get short or burnout, how does that come out?
It's not even, it's an energetic thing. Like it just feels heavy and gross. I don't mope. It's not that I put anything out there with words. It's just that I'm sort of not reacting and very disinterested and in my own space. And energetically, it just feels kind of yucky around me. Like you don't want to be around me. You'll gravitate away from me because it's just not a nice energy to be around. I don't know how else to explain.
So if I walked into the kitchen knowing you, right? I mean, we've shared space and time and conversation.
Yeah.
If I walked into the kitchen and you were feeling that way, would I feel it?
Yeah, especially you would feel it for sure.
Okay.
You'd be like, wow, you can cut the tension with a knife in here. What's going on?
And what about Brian?
Oh, same in a big way. When Brian's probably even more than me. When Brian's not feeling regulated or not feeling great and there's something he's not talking about, again, not as great a sharer as he is a listener. And this is why I wanted to model the behavior for him because I really need him to share more. He's getting better at it, is because you can cut it with a knife. And so then we all feel it. And then everyone's kind of like, I don't want to say everyone tiptoes around him because it's tiptoe around me too when my energy is bad.
I think it's anyone when someone's energy, when something's off, you
can feel something and that you can see that you're sort of like tentatively jumping in on conversations and whatnot. And he doesn't ever say anything about it. You can just feel it radiating off of him. And so what I was saying about what's helped and what's changed is when those things are happening and feelings are coming up and I haven't yet said the words out loud, if Brian comes to me and is like, hey, baby, are you okay? I actually answer him honestly. Because how often when someone says, are you okay, do we say, I'm fine?
Right.
And you're not.
Right.
And then you're not sharing and they're probably knowing that you're not fine, but not knowing how to ask because you just straight away put up a wall. And I used to do that all the time. I'm fine. And part of me wanted him to keep asking, but why is he going to keep putting his hand in if it's getting bitten? You know what I mean? It's like it was not fair on him either. So, or anyone else for that matter. And so I would find that I had to take a deep breath and not wait too long to chicken out, but just say, I'm actually not. And be able to say, whether it is in the moment, I don't know how to put it into words yet, but I'm not okay and I'm feeling all sorts of things. I'm just trying to figure it out before I communicate it to you. He at least knows something's not good. I'm going to wait till she can come to me. Or I jump in and I talk about it and I just start speaking. And it's not that there's ever anything wrong with our relationship or him. It's just stuff happening in life that I'm trying to process, and it's hard. And so when I've found that he comes to me and he's like, hey, baby, are you okay? Even if it's like just a quick, you good? You know, I always answer honestly. And at least he then knows where I'm at until I'm ready to talk. Or we go, shall we talk about it? And we talk about it. And I think another important thing when listening to someone that I've had to work with, we've had to work with each other on, is do you want me to listen or help you find a solution?
That's a huge one.
Huge. Because sometimes you just want someone to listen and not tell you how to fix it. So help me, Randy. If I just want to moan and complain in my loved one's arms and cry a little bit, just let me do that. Don't tell me how to fix it. I'm a big girl. I'll figure out how to fix it. I just need to get through this wave of it first while someone holds me. You know?
Yes. Yes.
It's a big lesson.
I know. And, even for me, it's like, look what I do for a living. And it's weird because I'm equal parts there to listen and to hold space. And people come to me because they are ready for change.
Right.
They need solutions, but they need the key that they can take that unlocks it for themselves. Right. I'm not unlocking it for them. I'm giving them the key. Right. But then with whether it's with my daughters or my wife, I catch myself at times where I'm like, oh, I just gave a full-on solution. There was no, barreling 80 miles an hour, and there was no space holding.
Right.
Right. And I think
You're
that
just
is
in fix-it mode.
Yeah, that's just a mistake that people do. But again, we're not trained to do that. And so for those listening who don't know what we're talking about, when you say, I just need you to listen right now, that is an easy way to let someone know how they can show up for you best.
Yes.
That you don't need a solution because, it's like, I'm not feeling well or blah, blah, blah. And people will go, have you tried this? Have you done this? People automatically just throw all of their advice on you. And it comes from a beautiful place. It comes from a loving place most of the time. But it's missing what you might need. Yeah. Right? And so sometimes what we need, because at our ripe, oldish age, we can figure shit out pretty well. Like, we have a lot of capability. But before we even go into solution mode, we need someone to see us and hear us and just witness what's happening. Yeah. Once we can be witnessed, then it's like, okay, now that that's out, now I can figure out solutions.
I love that you say witness. I think that I see that as like being seen. We all just want to be seen. And sometimes that's all we want. We don't need the solution. We don't need anything else, but just to be seen and heard for a moment while we share and gather our thoughts and release some emotion about a situation, whatever it is, just opening up that helps us then get more clarity, and you feel like you're less alone with it too.
Totally. Now we just need a whole vocabulary on what do you do to see someone. We'll have to unpack that another time. But, because it's like easy to give a quick solution based off of what you know or to ask a question.
Right.
But to sit there and then it's like, oh, what do I say?
It's uncomfortable to not say anything, right? Because we're wired to want to help and to help fix, especially with the people that we love.
Yes. We want to hear, if you try this, if this resonates with you, if you want to do this with your partner, let us know. Write us in socials, on Instagram. Let us know how this shows up for you, if it was helpful, if it worked, if it didn't work. But I want to know.
Yeah, I want to know how you will share your feelings with your partner. Like, what is the opening line when you're going through something and you need to share with your partner that you're in a certain place? What is your opening line, the icebreaker, if you will, of how you get into talking about those sorts of things and getting into sharing? Because I think that would be super helpful for people to know and get some ideas on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Randy, it was really cool sitting and chatting with you today.
I know, so much fun, Sharna.
Yeah,
I'm glad we got a chance
we
to do
don't need
this.
Brian. He can just stay shooting a movie.
Go film, Brian.
Go film, Brian. No, I'm kidding.
No, we
of
love
course,
you. We miss you, Brian.
We miss him all the time, but this was super fun. And thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us today. Of course, we love that you listen, but we also really love it when you follow, like, and subscribe. So if you want to jump in and do that for us, it helps us more than you know. It helps us bring in great guests, have incredible content, be in this incredible studio. It helps us do all the things and continue bringing that oldish content that we love to create for you. So once again, thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate you, and we will see you on the next one.
I just wanted to take a moment to let you know that you don't have to navigate life alone. If there's something hard that you're dealing with or you're just ready for a change, then reach out to me at randyspelling.com, or you could DM me on Instagram, also at randyspelling. And if I can help you, I will. If there's a resource that I can share with you, I will also do that as well. Thanks.